Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so needless to say, second guessing myself is never the way to go. Never, never. I said at the beginning that even though I saw good matchups on Cleveland side, they had Allen coming back, all these different things. They had the players to beat the Hawks, but my gut was telling me to stay with Trae Young. And as you saw, if you watch these last couple videos, I was going back and forth. I made a halftime video just now saying, oh man, I probably made the wrong pick because Cleveland's up by 10 and they got the stilts and all of this. But you have to let Trae Young do what it is he has to do. When Clint Capella was removed from the game, what ended up happening was they put more shooters on the floor. It became a situation where now you don't have the issue of a player on the floor that can't space it. So it created more of a dynamic for Trae Young from which to operate. So what you saw was him take advantage of what seemed like a Cleveland Cavaliers team that figured maybe since Clint had went down, they could slump their shoulders and kind of take their foot off the gas. And you can't do that when they have a real certified killer uh, on the other team. In fact, they got a few of them because I look at Bogdanovich as a killer as well. So when you have them type of players that have that killer instinct, and you take your foot off the gas and go on scoring droughts that last 7 and 8 minutes, um, you can't beat Trae Young. Like there's no way to do so. He's gonna make the entire fourth quarter about him, and that's exactly what I figured would happen. I said the same thing in regards to him going up against Charlotte. I just couldn't see no scenario where he wasn't the victor because he manipulates the game. Trae Young is somebody that I consider a time thief. He's gonna control the game. He's gonna control the ball. He's gonna control the clock. And he's going to control the referees because he's going to manipulate situations in such a way for him to draw fouls. Sort of like his teammate Lou Williams does. They just kind of control things. If they have the ball in their hand, it's about them. And you have to take the ball out of their hands. You have to bump them off their spots. You have to make somebody else beat you. But in order to do that, you have to try to deny them the ball, and they're very good at keeping that from happening. Uh, they're going to get the ball. And when they get it, and chances are they're going to score. And the thing about them is, it doesn't really matter if you have stilts, as I call it, players that are tall and lengthy and stuff like that, because the little dynamo that he is going to shoot teardrops over their heads all night long. That's what he does. It's not like he's dunking on anybody. He's shorter than everyone. So at all times, he's looking to shoot over trees. So it doesn't really matter how tall those trees are. It doesn't matter. And that is why I ultimately thought that he would be a murderer for this Cleveland team that really can beat some of anybody, really, but not someone that functions in such a way as Trae Young, who will control the clock, control the ball, and shoot teardrops all night, and shoot threes all night, and shake their guards out of their shoes. And that's exactly what he did. And that's why I ultimately thought he would be able to overcome that Cleveland Cavalier team that I think is ultimately more talented than Atlanta when they have all their pieces together. Um, but this is the thing, man. There's something to be said for having a killer on the team. I grew up on Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, two of the most lethal, destructive, finishers the game has ever seen. Guys that will take your heart out, look to demoralize you. You know what I mean? And I know that they can overcome schemes. They can overcome odds. You know what I mean? When you have those type of players that just flat out dominate the moment, they're going to win. and Trae Young is the type of beast that I've seen before. He's going to win. I'm not surprised to see him making Eastern Conference Finals last year. I'm not surprised to see him pull himself out of the 10th seed into the playoffs this year. And I won't be surprised when he beats the Miami Heat in the first round. I'm not saying he's going to do it. I worded that wrong. I won't be surprised if he's able to, is what I'm saying to you. I'm not picking him. I haven't thought that through yet. It's more than just one player or two players or three players. But what I'm saying is if you don't have somebody that is a absolute and utter killer on the defensive end to pull the ball out of his hands and make the moment about something other than him while he's willing himself toward that moment like only killers can. If you can't stop him when he's in that mode, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. That team has enough depth to overcome injuries in certain key positions Onyeka Okongwu played fantastic down the stretch of this game. You got to give him credit. You got to give the other players credit. Gallinari compliments him well shooting. You know, they got some good guys. I think DeLon Wright is key on that team because he comes in and is a strong fundamentalist is what I would say he is. He brought a stability to that game that would not have been there if his number wasn't called. And I don't even know they win that game if they didn't call his number when they did, because he came in and just completely stabilized everything. And Trae Young was able to take it from there. So you got to give credit to Atlanta and to the coaching, because they did a good job in this play-in game. But, you know, Cleveland went on this long, ridiculous scoring drought. And some of the stuff that they were doing out there, Caris LeVert, he did some good things defensively. I don't want to kill him, but he made some horrible plays throughout the majority of the time I was watching him make plays. And I've seen him play better, so I'm not saying he can't play or nothing's crazy, but he just was not on his game tonight. And a lot of what I saw go wrong was his fault. I'm just going to call it what I saw. There were other things going on. You missing free throws, things like that. You know, I felt Markkanen played excellent, and they should have went to him more. He had it going pretty much all game long on both sides of the floor, and they just didn't go to him enough. Darius Garland, as dynamic as a player as he is, he has got to have better shot selection. You can't have volume and efficiency be so far away from one another. You're shooting 30 shots and you're only making like 9 of them. That just can't. Those are possessions lost for your team. And in a winner-take-all one-game situation, that cannot be the case, especially going up against a killer like Trae Young. Because you best believe every possession, the time thief that he is, every possession he gonna make about him. And while that can be nauseating for everyone, the reality is what that is someone who takes every possession seriously. And it's those mistake-making teams that take possessions off, that ultimately find themselves in situations where they're playing more basketball than they need to, or situations where they're in dogfights where they otherwise could win the game. Guys like Trae Young ain't gonna never let his team be in that situation, because the possession that he's in is showtime for him. It's like all lights on him. He feel like he's a superstar in the middle of the stage and it's his time to perform. Also known as taking each and every possession seriously. It's what basketball's made of, man. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and watch the Pels Clippers game right now and try to get back to you guys on that the same way. Man, PG obviously hit with COVID protocol. It's going to be about Norman Powell tonight. I just see this being a big Norman Powell game. If they're going to win, Norman Powell and Terrence Mann. But I'm not picking them to win either way. I like the Pels. Too much defense, way too much BI, way too much CJ. And what's my man's name? Herb. Way too much Herb Jones. Way too much Herb Jones. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching, and I'm out.